let's go to chapter 4. Chapter 4 deals about drainage systems and water resources of Ethiopia and on. Now let's start from the major drainage systems of Ethiopia. First, a drainage system is made up of a principal river and its tributaries. You say that the rivers that flow into it. So the drainage pattern of an area is the outcome of the geological processes, nature and structure of rocks, topography, slope, amount and periodicity of water flow. All these are to be seen within the drainage system. When we talk about drainage pattern, what we should consider is that the overall geological process, nature and structure of rocks, what kind of topography, what does the slope looks like, the amount of water and its periodicity. All this is to be seen within the drainage pattern. The major drainage systems are the following. 1. The western drainage systems. These are the largest of all the drainage systems within the country. This drainage system comprises 4 major river basins, namely Takaze, Abai, Baro, Akobo, and that of Gibe, Omo. From this, the Abai, Takaze, and Baro flow westward, ultimately joining the Nile, which finally ends at Mediterranean Sea. So these are international rivers that will go abroad, out of Ethiopia. Abai, Takaze, and Baro will go westward and will drain to the Mediterranean Sea. The largest river basin. This is the largest river both in volumetric and discharge and coverage. From all these, the largest of all in terms of volumetric drainage discharge and coverage in the western drainage system is the Abai River. So the Abai River is one of the largest rivers in terms of what we call it volume or discharge within the river basin. The second one is the Southeastern drainage system, and the basin which is mainly drained by Wabishabele and Ganale slopes southeastward across large water deficient plains. These two rivers, Wabishabele and Ganale, will go across large water deficient plains. There are lowland areas within the drainage system, so that these rivers will flow along the water deficient plains of the country. Wabishabele and Ganale rivers cross the border into Somalia. They go to Somalia. Ganale, okay, which has fewer tributaries but carries more water than Wabishabele, reaches to the Indian Ocean. It goes to the Indian Ocean, and in Somalia, the river Ganale is called Juba. They call it Juba River. Wabishabele, okay, Wabishabele River is the largest river in terms of catchment area. It has a naming in Somalia as Juba, and it has the largest river in terms of catchment area. It is the longest river in Ethiopia because it goes across many areas. Wabishabele fails to reach the Indian Ocean. The third drainage system is the Rift Valley drainage system. The Rift Valley drainage system is an area of small amount of rainfall, and the only major river basin is that of the Awash River. That is a river to be seen within the Rift Valley system. The Awash River finally ends the maze of small lakes and marsh areas, the largest of which Lake Abe on the Ethiopia-Djibouti border. So the only internal drainage system within Ethiopia is the Awash River, which will never go abroad. Now, having seen this, water resources That is rivers, lakes, and surface water. What does it look like? First, the Ethiopia rivers. What is the general characteristics of the Ethiopia rivers? One, almost all major rivers originate from the highlands. They originate from the highlands of Ethiopia. Two, majority of Ethiopia rivers are transboundary, meaning that they go out of Ethiopia. Three, they are characterized by extreme seasonal fluctuation, meaning the Ethiopia rivers will have high volume during summer and the water will decrease, especially in the sunny seasons. Four, they have rapids and waterfalls along their courses. There are so many waterfalls in Ethiopia. Five, some of the rivers serve as boundaries, both international and domestic administrative units. So one area from the other area will be separated or delineated by that of rivers of Ethiopia. Second, the Ethiopian lakes. The Ethiopian lakes are the result of tectonic process. Okay, when the first, especially intrusive forces form different features, okay, on the crest of the earth, the Ethiopian lakes were formed also as a result of this. Lake Tana, the largest lake in Ethiopia, occupies a shallow depression, and Ethiopia is also gifted with crater lakes. There are so many crater lakes in Ethiopia. So many crater lakes in Ethiopia. These include lakes at around Bishoftu, Wonchi, Haik, near Dese, and the crater lake on the top of Mount Zukwala. In the top of Mount Zukwala there is a lake, and that lake is a crater lake. A crater lake is a lake that will have water, but that lake is the result of tectonic process. For example, in Mount Zukwala, because of volcanic eruption, a large caldera was formed, and when that caldera was filled up with rainwater, it formed a lake, and this lake is said to be a crater lake. Lake Abaya, the largest of all the lakes in the system, is to be found here. Shala and Zuwai are the smallest, shallowest, and the deepest lakes in the central rift system. When it comes to subsurface or groundwater resource of Ethiopia, Ethiopia has low groundwater potential. Of course, the climatic and geophysical conditions determine the availability of groundwater resources. Ethiopian potential of groundwater is believed to range between 12 to 30 billion metric cube. Okay? So these water resources, the potential of exploitable waters in Ethiopia is huge. The enormous water resource potential of Ethiopia is underutilized due to many factors. We haven't utilized it. The following are some of potential development uses of water resources in Ethiopia. One, hydroelectric potential. Ethiopian rivers have a very high potential for generating electricity. We know that the first hydroelectric power generation plant was installed on Akaki River, Abasawe, in 1932. Now we are going to build the Great Ethiopia Renaissance Dam. We have the Gilgel-Gibe Street Dam. Currently, Ethiopia is administering 14 hydroelectric power plants constructed on Lake Abasawe, Koka, Isabai, Awash, Melkawakana, Sor Fincha, Gibe Omo, Tanables, and Takaze generating close to 4,000 megawatts of energy. The severe erosion from the highlands and sedimentation in the reservoirs is also a critical problem for hydroelectric power generation. If these dams are to be filled by sediments that will come as a result of erosion and deposition, it will result in problem in the hydroelectric power production. 2. Irrigation transportation. The terrain in Ethiopia is so rugged that it limits the uses of Ethiopia rivers both for irrigation and transportation. The Barwa and Genale-Dawa river systems have large irrigation potential. Majority of Ethiopia rivers are not suitable for transportation because of their topography. It is the Barwa at its lower course which is the only navigable river in Ethiopia, because in the upper course and middle course of the river, okay, transportation is not possible because of its topography. Lake Tana and Abaya are relatively the most used for transportation. We use especially in Lake Tana for transportation, but it is only the Baro River that is navigable. 3. Fishing and recreation. The majority of Ethiopia lakes are rich in fish. Currently, Lake Tana leads the potential. There are a variety of fish, birds, and other aquatic life forms in the lakes. Aquatic refers to water. Ethiopia rivers and lakes are important recreational and tourist attractions, but we haven't used them.